Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Tom Kigger. I serve as chairman of the board as well as commissioner for the Gastonia Township. I'd like to welcome our viewers and first thank Spectrum Cable and AT&T for making this possible for our citizens to view at home. For our television and live stream audience, I'd like to introduce your county commissioners beginning on my right.
Alan Fraley, Cherville Township.
Good evening, Chad Brown, Riverbend Township.
Good evening, Bob Hovis, Crowders Mountain Township.
Kim Johnson, Gastonia Township.
I'm Ronnie Worley, South Point Township.
If everybody would join us by standing, we're going to have an invocation this evening by Pastor Jan Deans. He's with the Friendship Baptist Church in Belmont, and I will lead the pledge immediately after.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you that we have the privilege of being in the United States of America where we can express our viewpoints, be listened to, and be heard by those who are leading our communities. I pray special blessing upon each person here tonight, those who are in leadership, who make the decisions that determine the future and the outgrowth of our county. I thank you for the honor of being able to pray here tonight for my friend Jack Brown, who I love dearly. I thank you for his family. Be with us now, Father. Give us a good night, and thank you for all that you do for us on a regular basis. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. The first item that we have tonight is the awarding of the annual Judge William Gaston Award. A very important part of the board's mission is to encourage citizen participation in county government and community involvement. In 1998, the County Commission established an annual award bearing the name of its county's namesake, Judge William Gaston, who lived from 1778 through 1844, to recognize those volunteers who have demonstrated exemplary commitment, dedication, and leadership. Since its establishment, the County Commission has honored 64 recipient volunteers for their services to Gaston County and the whole community. This year, the Board of Commissioners has the privilege of presenting the award to one outstanding individual, former Commissioner Mr. Jack Brown. At this time, I'd ask Mr. Brown to come to the podium along with any family and friends he has with him to receive the award, and Commissioner Alan Fraley of Cherryville Township will be making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my honor and privilege to present this year's Judge William Gaston Award to Jack Brown. Mr. Jack Brown, lifelong resident of Gaston County, has devoted much of his life to advancement of our county. A graduate of Belmont High School and a veteran of the United States Army, Jack is a passionate public servant, and as a county commissioner, he was held in great esteem by his fellow board members for his enthusiasm to serve, for his unwavering principles, and for being poised every day for the fight to make the county a better place. Jack's service on the Board of Commissioners began his first elected term on December 6, 2004. He was called to serve the commission once again October 9, 2018, as the Gaston County Republican Party appointed the vacant Gastonia Township seat. He was elected as vice chair in 2019 and held that position until he departed the board in 2020. Jack has been involved in the Gaston County Republican Party for many years and served on the Republican 10th District Executive Committee and the Gaston County Republican Executive Committee. Civically, Jack has given much of his time and talents to various organizations since 1980s. Most recently, he served as township appointment to the Gaston County Economic Development Commission. He also served on the Travel and Tourism Advisory Board, Gaston County Parks and Recreation Board, Gaston County Transportation Advisory Board, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, Schools Facility Committee, Family Advisory Board, Home and Community Care Block Grant Advisory Committee, the Gaston Family Health Services Board of Directors, and he also served as Vice Chair of the State Parks Commission. Throughout his many years of public service, Jack faithfully supported initiatives that positively impacted the county's growth, especially in economic development and land use. An advocate for smart growth in the county and the region, Jack fervently encouraged community and stakeholders to a collaboration to development decisions. As a commissioner, Jack always sought fiscal responsibility and budgetary accountability with a strong focus on reducing the tax rate for Gaston County citizens. He always held genuine concern and desire to address head-on the many challenges facing Gaston County citizens. At the onset of 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, Jack advocated for an expansion of the Family Advisory Board grant funding to provide immediate assistance to at-risk populations impacted during the crisis. Jack and his wife Alice, who was a former Register of Deeds in Gaston County, have 2 children and are blessed with 5 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. He and Alice are members of Friendship Baptist Church in Belmont. His service to the Gaston County has earned him much deserved recognition over the years. In 2021, both Jack and his wife Alice were honored as recipients of the Order of the Longleaf Pine, the highest award for public service granted by the Governor of North Carolina. Jack, the County Commission is forever grateful and indebted to you for your many years of service and your continuing efforts to make Gaston County a better place to live. Your frontline and behind-the-scenes work is inspiring and has touched many, many lives. Thank you, Jack. We appreciate all your service. Here's the award. Let's show everybody how nice that looks. Can we set it down? Alice, you want to hold this?
We got room for one more.
There you go. You got room for one more right here.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan, for those kind words. I thought you were talking about somebody else to start with, really. But at any rate, I'm humbled and also honored to receive this award. And it means certainly a lot to me and my family to be a part of Gaston County. I always tell people, I said, come over to Gaston County and try us. You might like us over here. And we've had some transplants that stayed. We had some that just left, but anyway, that's the point. But anyway, I am thankful for what you guys do because I know what it's all about, and I hope you continue in support of this county and what we are striving for. Be a better place to live and work, and that's what we all work for. And I know when I retired in 1997, which is 24 years ago now, I got my math right, but I decided to devote my time to public service. And now, I had a little hiccup along the way this summer, but I had to prove to my wife I had a brain, so I had to have a surgeon to check it out and give her a seal of approval that I did have a brain up here and stuff. But anyway, I'm thankful for what you guys do. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
Alan, let's get Jack and the family up in front of the dais and have a picture made.
Come to the right a little bit, Al.
There are some perfect heads and
A little more. A
Kevin,
lot,
sit him up
lot
there.
more.
Appreciate you.
You did good.
Lots of love.
You stood good.
Hey, my daughter did that once.
Pastor Deans, thank you so much for coming out this evening.
Thank you very much for the honor.
We'll now go into public hearings. Jack, y'all can stay for, we have 6 or 7 public hearings you're more than welcome to stay for.
I think we're going
The commission will take citizen comment for 6 zoning public hearings. Comment will be taken on the following issues: conditional district, CD 21-06, zoning map change, Z 21-14, zoning map change, Z 21-16, zoning map change, Z 21-17, Z 21-18, and Z 21-19. Before we begin, let me quickly outline the rules of procedure. Citizens wishing to make comment will be recognized by the chair, then requested to step to the microphone for their comments. Citizens will state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. All questions shall be directed to the chair for response, and the chair shall rule on all points of order during the hearings. Do I have a motion to go into public hearings?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brown, second by Mr. Hovis. All those in favor? It is, well, it's unanimous for 5 of us. The County Commission will take citizen comment on public hearing conditional district CD 21-06, Tyler Carpenter applicant. Mrs. Sarah Penley, Building and Development Service Senior Planner, will provide an overview. Once she's completed her comments, citizen comment will be taken. Ms. Penley, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, board members. As mentioned, the application is CD 21-06, and the request is to rezone a portion of parcel 157438 located at Landers Chapel Road in Lincolnton from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District to the CD/R3 Conditional District Single Family General Zoning District in order to allow machine, metal, woodworking, welding shop as an allowable use. The applicant is Tyler Carpenter, and the property owners are Diane and Wade Carpenter. The total acreage of the parcel is 19.23 acres. However, the request is to rezone a portion of that property, with the applicant asking for consideration of 8.5 acres. The current use is vacant and farming. 2 public information meetings were advertised and conducted by the applicant as a requirement of this application, with 2 attendees being present on both occasions. And if we could refer to the maps, please. As mentioned, the property is located off of Landers Chapel Road, which is in the northwest section of the county, just south of the Lincoln County line, east of Cherryville and west of the town of Shoals. This is an aerial view of the property. The subject site, or the area to be considered, is highlighted in dark blue. The zoning map of the property indicates the current zoning, which is R1 Single Family Limited, with some surrounding R2 Single Family Moderate and some R3 Single Family General. Zooming out just a bit, the zoning is consistent with the R1 Single Family Limited, R2 Single Family Moderate, and R3 Single Family General. As required for a conditional district application, a site plan was submitted by the applicant. I believe board members received that in their agenda packet earlier. Again, the applicant is asking to rezone just a portion of the property, which is noted by the site plan or indicated on the site plan. As well as some conditions for approval. The first 5 conditions, Mr. Chairman, are staff recommended general conditions that we use for each and every application. However, I'd like to direct your attention to items number 6 and number 7. The parking area shall remain as shown on the concept site plan. unless at such a time occurs that the business expands to include more than 20 employees, to which the parking area, aisles, driveways, and surfaces will be brought up to the UDO regulations and standards. And item number 7, the buffer and landscaping shall remain as shown on the concept site plan unless such a time occurs that the business expands to include future structures that were proposed on the site plan. And at that time, they will be brought into conformance with a Type A buffer yard. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that the application and conditions are consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October 11th, and a recommendation for approval with the attached conditions for approval as submitted was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy. This concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any comments from the applicant?
Yes, my name is Tyler Carpenter. I live at 3068 J.E. Carpenter Road in Lincoln. That's just barely across the county line. And I'd like to relocate my business from that parcel over to some family land that's more conducive for our expansion. We've outgrown our building, so I just need to build a bigger one.
All right, thank you very much. Any citizen wishing to make comment? Questions from the board? If there are no additional comments, I will declare the public hearing closed, but before we, pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me.
How you doing, Tom?
Come on up. I apologize for missing you.
Oh, no problem. I was late in putting up my hand. So this is the part where we say we disagree with this request.
You say whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I own land that a house that's located right next to this parcel. I don't see how this rezoning does anything but devalues my property, and therefore I'm opposed.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Oh, your name and address, please.
Eric Carter. This is at 3030 Gaston Chapel Road.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Any other comments? At this time, I'll ask our county attorney to provide comments regarding the planning board's recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This was a unanimous vote by the planning board to recommend approving this application, CD 21-06. And I'll read for the record that the proposed rezoning is in the rural future land use plan. Rural areas allow for residential homes located on large lots with opportunities for agribusiness ventures, and the use going from R1 to CD/C1 will make the subject parcel commercial in nature, but will also allow for residential uses, which is consistent with the rural designation and is in harmony with other commercial uses within the immediate vicinity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Penley,
Yes, sir.
what's your experience with a project like this with regards to value of the surrounding properties?
I think historically, when we have had members or staff of the tax department present at these hearings for other requests, that generally they value the property, or they look at the property as respective to the individual properties and not the surrounding properties with regards to valuation. That's my understanding from the tax department's point of view, how they appraise properties. So they would look at, they wouldn't take into consideration the adjoining uses when placing value on a property.
Do we have any experience from the past where that would address Mr. Carter's concerns? Do we know firsthand that property values were diminished with a project such as this next to a residence?
Not to my knowledge. I think the only occurrence that we've had any experience with would be solar farms. And in those instances, it did not decrease the value of any adjoining properties.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carpenter, I would ask you also, what would be the anticipated hours of operation of your business? Is this,
Just first shift, probably like 7 to 4.
like,
All right. Is there a motion? Motion by Mr. Brown, second by Mr. Fraley. All those in favor? All right, now, we need a motion to approve now. That was to go out? Okay. So we're done with that one then. Okay. You had it on here. Item B, the county commission will take citizen comment on public hearing zoning map change Z21-14. Devin Wilson applicant. Mrs. Sarah Penley, Building Development Service Senior Planner, will once again provide an overview.
Thank you, sir. This request is to rezone parcel 221628, located at Lee Hager Road in Bessemer City, from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District to the R2 Single Family Moderate Zoning District. The applicant is Devin Wilson, and the property owners are Megan and Devin Wilson, respectively. The total acreage of the parcel is 3 acres, and the request to rezone is the entire parcel. The current use is vacant and undeveloped. And if we could refer to the maps, please. As mentioned, the property is located off of Lee Hager Road in Bessemer City, which is just northwest of the city of Bessemer City, southeast of the town of Cherryville, and just east of the Cleveland County line. This is an aerial view of the property. The subject parcel is highlighted in blue. Zoning map of the property reflects the R1 Single Family Limited zoning in the immediate area. And zooming out, it reflects the R1 Single Family Limited. There's some R2 Single Family Moderate, some I3, and some C3 General Commercial also in the vicinity of the subject site. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that the application as presented is consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October 11th, and a recommendation for approval was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy. This concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there comments from the applicant? Any citizen wishing to make comment? Questions of the board? If there are no additional comments, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Before we proceed to the vote, I'll once again ask our county attorney, Mr. Sink, to provide comments.
Yes, sir. The planning board, as it relates to Z21-14, recommended unanimously for the application to be approved. The proposed rezonings in the rural future land use plan, rural areas are those areas with residential homes located on large lots and are set back from the roads they front upon. There are many opportunities for agribusiness ventures in this designation as well, so the use going from R1 to R2 will allow the subject parcel to continue as residential in nature, which is consistent with the rural center designation and is in harmony with other residential uses within the immediate vicinity. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the planning? Mr. Hovis made the motion. Mr. Brown made the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Item C, the county commission will take citizen comment, zoning map change Z21-16, David and Terry Ratchford applicants. Once again, Ms. Penley, you may provide an overview.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is to rezone a portion of parcels 193, 195, and 193, 196, located at 2249 Rufus Ratchford Road, Gastonia, from the C3 General Commercial and R1 Single Family Limited zoning districts with the U.S. Urban Standards overlay to the R2 Single Family Moderate zoning district with U.S. Urban Standards overlay. The applicant and property owners, as mentioned, are David and Terry Ratchford. The total acreage of the parcels combined are 8.36 acres, with the request to rezone only a portion of that, which totals 2.55 acres. The current use is commercial and residential. And if we can refer to the maps, please. The property is located on Rufus Ratchford Road, which is in the southeastern portion of the county, just southeast of the city of Gastonia and west of the town of Belmont, and just north of the York County line. This is an aerial view of the property in question. The subject site, again, is highlighted in blue. Zoning map reflects the R1 Single Family Limited zoning as well as the C3 General Commercial zoning. Zooming out, it continues with the R1 Single Family Limited zoning. There is some R2 Single Family Moderate just south of the property, as well as the U.S. Urban Standards overlay, and it picks up the scenic view overlay as well. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that the application as presented is consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October 11th, and a recommendation for approval was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy, and this concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Once again, any comment from the applicants? Citizens wishing to make comment? Members of the board? All right, if there are no additional comments, I will once again declare the public hearing closed and ask our county attorney to provide comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Application Z21-16 was recommended via unanimous vote of the Planning Board for approval. The proposed rezoning is in the Rural Future Land Use Plan. Rural areas are those areas with residential homes located on large lots and are set back from the roads they front upon. There are many opportunities for agribusiness ventures in this designation as well, so the use going from C3 and R1 to R2 will allow the subject parcel to continue as residential use in nature, which is consistent with the rural center designation and is in harmony with other residential uses within the immediate vicinity.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion? Mr. Worley
Motion
makes
to
a
approve.
motion. Mr. Brown makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is approved. Thank you. Item D, the County Commission will now take citizen comment on public hearing zoning map change Z21-17, Alita Presley Crow applicant. Once again, Ms. Penley, the show is yours.
Thank you, sir. This request is to rezone a parcel 162718 located at Besstown Road in Bessemer City from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District to the R3 Single Family General Zoning District. The applicant and owner is Alita Crow. The total acreage of the parcel is .53 acres with the request to rezone the entire parcel. The current use is vacant and undeveloped. And if we can refer to the maps, please. As mentioned, the property is located on Besstown Road, which is just north of the city of Bessemer City and northwest of the city of Gastonia. This is an aerial view of the property with the subject parcel highlighted in blue. The zoning map reflects the R1 single family limited zoning as well as some R2 single-family moderate, which abuts the property. And zooming out, there's continuation of the R1 single-family limited, as well as some R3 single-family general and some C1 light commercial in the area as well. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that the application as presented is consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October the 11th, and a recommendation for approval was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy. And this concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any comments from the applicants? Citizen comment? Questions or comments from the board? Is there a motion? Mr. Brown makes a motion. Mr. Johnson makes the second.
You need
I'm sorry. Oh,
the attorney.
yep, I'm sorry.
No, you're-
Comments from the attorney.
Yes, yes, sir, and thank you. As Ms. Penley said, this is another unanimous recommendation from the Planning Board for approval on Z 21-17. The proposed rezoning is in the Rural Future Land Use Plan. Rural areas are those areas with residential homes located on large lots that are set back from the roads they front upon. There are many opportunities for agribusiness ventures in this designation as well. The use going from R1 to R3 will allow the subject parcel to continue as residential use in nature, which is consistent with the rural center designation and is in harmony with other residential uses within the immediate vicinity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, the motion, Mr. Hovis, the second. All those in favor? It too is unanimous. We're cruising through these. Item E, the county commission will take citizen comment on public hearing zoning map change Z 21-18. Barbara Bridges, applicant.
Thank you,
Ms.
sir.
Penley?
This request is to rezone parcel 305535 from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District to the R2 Single Family Moderate Zoning District. The applicant is Barbara Bridges, and the property owners are Barbara Bridges and Diana Quisenberry. The total acreage of the parcel is 1.97 acres, with the request to rezone the entire parcel. The current use is vacant and undeveloped. And if we could take a look at the maps, please. As mentioned, the property is located off of Lewis Farm Road. I'm sorry I didn't state that earlier. The property is located off of Lewis Farm Road in Bessemer City, and it's just north and west of the city of Bessemer City and just east of the Cleveland County line. This is an aerial view of the property with the subject parcel highlighted in blue. The zoning map reflects the R1 single-family limited zoning with some R3 single-family general across the street. And zooming out, consistent with the R1 single-family limited with spots of R2 single-family moderate and some more R3 single-family general as well. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that this application as presented is consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October the 11th, and a recommendation for approval was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy, and this concludes my presentation for this application. Thank you.
Thank you again. Any comments from the applicant? Any citizen wishing to make comment? Members of the Board of Commissioners? Entertain a motion for approval?
Don't we have to go?
Oh, gosh, yeah. That's 0 for 2 there.
No, you're good. I'll try to fly here. All right, so another unanimous recommendation for approval as it relates to Z 21-18. The proposed rezonings in the rural future land use plan. Rural areas are those areas with residential homes located on large lots and are set back from the roads they front upon. There are many opportunities for agribusiness ventures in this designation as well, so the use going from R1 to R2 will allow the subject parcel to continue as residential use in nature, which is consistent with the rural center designation and is in harmony with other residential uses within the immediate vicinity. Thank you.
Motion to approve, Mr. Hovis. Mr. Brown makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. And item F, the county commission will take citizen comment on public hearing zoning map change Z21-19, Anita B. and Richard A. Stewart applicant. Ms. Penley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is to rezone parcel 302025 located at 786 Long Shoals Road in Lincolnton from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District to the R2 Single Family Moderate Zoning District. The applicant and owners are Anita and Richard Stewart. The total acreage of the parcel is 3.45 acres with the request to rezone the entire parcel. The current use is vacant and undeveloped. And if we could refer to the maps, please. As mentioned, the property is located on Long Shoals Road, which is just northwest of the town of Dallas, southwest of the town of High Shoals, and just south of the Lincoln County line. This is an aerial view of the property with the subject parcel highlighted in blue. The zoning map reflects the R1 Single Family Limited with some adjoining R2 Single Family Moderate zoning in the area. And zooming out, it's consistent with the R1 Single Family Limited, R2 Single Family Moderate with some C1 light commercial as well. Regarding the comprehensive land use plan, it is staff's opinion that this application as presented is consistent. This matter was reviewed by the Gaston County Planning Board on October the 11th, and a recommendation for approval was unanimous. Notifications were sent out and advertised in accordance with county policy. This concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Penley. Any comments from the applicant? Any citizen wishing to make comment? Any questions or comments from the board? Mr. Sink?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Ms. Penley noted, another unanimous recommendation to approve by the Planning Board Z2119. The proposed rezoning is in the Rural Future Land Use Plan. Rural areas are those areas with residential homes located on large lots and are set back from the roads they front upon. There are many opportunities for agribusiness ventures in this designation as well. The use going from R1 to R2 will allow the subject parcel to continue as residential use in nature, which is consistent with the rural center designation and is in harmony with other residential uses within the immediate vicinity. Thank you all for listening to all those.
Thank you. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Johnson makes the motion. Commissioner Worley makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Penley.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome. Are there any revisions to the business agenda or any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda? What did I?
No, may I make an observation? Just for the public and for the board, the last several public hearings that we have done has been in a new mode format that our planning department has put in where we're not doing this joint thing anymore. I think it certainly is much better, much more direct. The planning board has their specific meeting and conversation and public hearing and input from applicants and citizens, and then it's a separate one before the Board of County Commissioners. I think it flows much better. It does much better opportunity for the public's work, for people to know who's on first and what's on second, and we're not running people up and down the halls to other courtrooms. I think it's a better process. I think we certainly have improved our service to the citizens, and I think it was a good move. Just a point of observation, Mr. Chair. I don't know who's on third, by the way.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
item C is coming off.
I
Yes.
was going to get to
Thank
that. Were there any revisions or items pulled? Okay. As the manager just noted, item C from the consent agenda is deleted. So Mr. Brown made the motion. Second by Commissioner Hovis. Thank you, gentlemen. Do I hear a motion to approve the business agenda as revised? Mr. Fraley makes the motion, Commissioner Worley makes the second. All those in favor? It is unanimous. We were provided with the draft minutes for the September 28th regular meeting. Are there any revisions?
Motion to approve is received, Mr. Chair.
All right, Mr. Hovis makes the motion, Commissioner Johnson makes the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. At this time, we come to citizen recognition, and excuse me if I mispronounce it. Is it Lesko Brandon? Lesco? Last name is Brandon. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mr. Brown makes the motion. Commissioner Johnson makes the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Consent agenda is approved unanimously. Nothing pulled?
Mr. Brandon going down the hall.
Well, he's going the wrong way. Mr. Fraley, do you have any appointments?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
May we hear them?
I got two. I got one reappointment to the Family Advisory Board, Rashawn Newton, and then a new appointment, Travel and Tourism, John Searby.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Second by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Mr. Brown?
I have one for the planning board, application received from Mr. Jay Sadler.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Mr. Hovis?
Mr. Chair, I have no appointments tonight.
Commissioner Johnson?
Mr. Chair, I have two appointments. Mr. Rick Hovis to the Animal Care and Enforcement Advisory Board. It's a reappointment. And a reappointment to the Transportation Advisory Board, Rhonda N. Burr-Hilburn.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Mr. Worley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one to the Transportation Advisory Board. Ms. Ruth Murphy is asking for reappointment, and I'd make that a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All those in favor? It too is unanimous. And I have a reappointment of Paul Williams to the Transportation Advisory Board.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hovis. All those in favor? It too is unanimous. Mr. Fraley, any reports this evening?
None, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Brown?
None at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hovis?
Mr. Chairman, just to let the board and the public know, there will be a dedication and opening of the Water Connect between Two Rivers Water and the City of Bessemer City, the new interconnect for the emergency supply. That will be taking place on Thursday of this week. It may well be inside City Hall because of weather conditions, but I will be attending that on the board's behalf.
I too
Other-
hope to be there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the reminder. Commissioner Johnson?
No report at this time.
Mr. Worley?
No report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
And I will just state that also this week, tomorrow at 1:30 over at the Kimbrell campus of Gaston College, we'll be breaking ground for the Fiber Innovation Center, which will be the only one of its kind when it's completed in the world, not the country, in the world. Brings us to County Manager Eagle.
Thank you, sir. I have a very brief report tonight. We were approached by the International City County Manager Association for them to do a video highlighting the county. This was about the point in time when we completed the strategic plan for the county, the first one that we've had. So I'm going to ask staff to share that video with you all tonight. It will then be available to run on our website, on the government channel, and then available for use. But we we thought it was an excellent opportunity given the timing. It was shown at the conference in Portland in September for the participants there, so wanted to share that with you all tonight.
Well, I would, before we see it, I'd like to thank Adam for the work that he and the staff put into it. I know other people helped out, but it was I think it's one of the best productions by a government entity that I've ever seen. So with that said, let's go to the movies.
The county's first ever strategic plan was adopted in March of this year. It gives us metrics so that we can measure our performance, make adjustments, make future decisions that are more strategic in nature as opposed to tactical, and provides us a framework for how we do our work. We're very fortunate in Gaston County to have very strong relationships with the school system, with Caramont, our healthcare system, with our business community.
This has been the most active period I've seen in not only our county but in the Charlotte region in 37 years. There's a lot of demand for warehousing, e-commerce product, and also for single tenant users, and we've always been a strong location for foreign direct investment.
I've been a Gaston County citizen all of my life. We were a textile community. Now it's more diversified than ever before with small businesses, tech parks, interstates, coursing. We have our baseball team, a beautiful stadium.
The Belmont Abbey campus was probably a third of the size it is now, and the population was probably a third of the size it is here now in Gaston County.
In the early 1970s, we had almost 30,000 people employed in textiles, and today we have about 2,000. So we went through a pretty dramatic change for a variety of factors, not just NAFTA, but consolidation in the industry and apparel production moving to other locations, and it left us in a position where we really had to rebuild the economy.
The 2040 Community Visioning Project is a county-wide effort. We have stakeholders from all areas of the county, both sectors and geographic representation, to look at outcomes that we need to focus on together.
And one of the things that we've worked hard on is land acquisition, so that we have the land in place so that someone can come and buy it that's properly zoned, served with adequate utilities, and readily available. You know, the Charlotte region is a huge advantage because of the airport and all the amenities that we have. And so we're 15 to 20 minutes away with most all of our industrial sites from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport.
I'd have to mention the Fiber Innovation Center. We got a state grant, and we've got partners like Parkdale Mills and American Cotton that are contributing financially and with manpower to develop the only one of its kind. We can't even consider or fathom today will be created. Fibers that will be used in aerospace, marine, military, medical, textile.
Innovation and adaptation might be the words of the year when it comes to COVID. One example is the work that our EMS department did with us during the vaccination clinics. They were able to help vaccinate homebound and disabled citizens that were not able to come to our vaccination sites. When we started rolling out these vaccination clinics, a lot of people have never been in a health department before.
I can't say enough how proud I am of our staff, because not only were we able to respond to the pandemic, we were also in a position where we never stopped delivering regular county services.
A really unique collaboration came when our public transportation department partnered up with our Meals on Wheels congregate meal sites, and they were able to deliver meals to those who were able to come to the congregate sites.
We leased a bank branch so that folks could drive through and make their tax payments.
We launched the Gaston Saves campaign, which is also a platform to deliver health and safety information directly to our citizens. And so it's completely changed our relationship with the community. We've had over 180,000 impressions, and over 30,000 people have signed up and actually got their vaccine through that website.
We also have to foster the entrepreneurial spirit and to have those small businesses that are the backbone of our county. I also envision Gaston County becoming a destination throughout the Southeast.
So we've been able to partner with the community college system for a long time. They've been our workforce partner since before economic development was in force. We've also been able to take advantage of UNC Charlotte, and then there's other allied programs in the region with the Polymer Center and other research institutes that are spun off from the university that we work with. And now we're probably in the best competitive position we've been in.
I want to throw in a little plug for the Gaston Early High School College. which a student can go to high school there, graduate in 5 years, but they also have their associate degree, which relieves a big hardship on a lot of families in Gaston County because we are a blue-collar county for the most part.
My role here is to help dispel all of the misinformation and work with the employees to help them get a better understanding of themselves so that they can understand others. I believe it's going to make us the employer of choice.
We're on the map right now. State economic development experts are sending people to Gaston County.
Our county is expanding, and I think it's headed in the right direction.
Continuous improvement, questioning how we deliver services, not assuming that we know what the community needs are is a fundamental way of how we're trying to approach the work. Thank you.
Does that conclude your report?
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eagle. Mr. Sink, is there a county attorney report?
There's not this evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, though.
Any other matters to come before the board? If not, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Halloween. Stay safe over the weekend, and this concludes our meeting for tonight. Our next combined work session and regular meeting is November 9th at 6 p.m. right here in the Harley B. Gaston Jr. Public Forum Courthouse. Thank you for watching. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Mr. Brown makes the motion. Commissioner Johnson makes the second. All in favor? It is unanimous.